Good evening, everyone. Namaste and Kamso. Thank you for joining live with us today. I am Jay, and today's first masterclass is about two things: Introduction to Practical Cities Initiative, and second is to learn from Mr. Nimitt Karia, who is a well known urban practitioner, about today's topic, City of My Dreams. Before going forward, I want to recollect a quote by Dalai Lama. He says that happiness is not something ready made. It comes from your own actions. We are a group of young urban enthusiasts and we are launching an initiative today known as Practical Cities. Across the world, there are a number of webinars happening lately from which we all can learn. So the question is, what and why are we live in this session today, and what we would be learning out of this masterclass? Is it same kind of 1 and 2 hours of webinars or something different? Our objective of Practical Cities initiative is to bring grassroots level urban practitioners, municipal officers, experts, and vendors to share their practical and on ground experiences of best practices, case studies, and learnings from their success and failure stories of various urban management issues. The key three outcomes that we are looking from these masterclasses are to learn from best practices in urban sector all across the world, to explore the growing opportunities in urban sector such as jobs, entrepreneurship, and startups, to come up with a framework to key elements that combines together to make city more livable and sustainable and to achieve our vision. For those who would be attending this masterclass, will get to know what are the key element checklist for making a city more livable and sustainable. Just to give you a glimpse of a tentative list of upcoming masterclass, we have four to five upcoming themes in the coming months. First and foremost, to set the scene today is learning about reimagining a city in which you want to be, or what is your dream city. Then the next one we have scheduled for learning about who governs a city, the governance aspect, form, functions, and functionaries. The theme 2 is about to learn from best practices in water and sanitation sector, and also to learn various tools such as QGIS, WASH assessment, and mapping tools. The next theme, the third theme, is to learn about the best practices in urban mobility, walkable streets and design, and public transportation. Last but not the least is the community engagement and livelihood for migrants, street vendors, etc. So let's start with today's masterclass. As a part of first masterclass, we are having Mr. Nimitt Karia, Managing Partner, Development 2020. Sir would be talking about his experience of the Dream City. First, a little bit about our speaker today. Mr. Karia has 22 years of experience in working in built environment sector. He has worked for one. He has worked on one of the most iconic projects such as British Museum, Plantation Place 1, Heathrow Airport Terminal 1 in London, and across India as well as African and European countries. Sir, we would like to know from you your feedback on what is what according to you is this Practical Cities initiative.
Thank you, Jay, for inviting me and to the launch of Practical Cities and to deliver the first masterclass. And of course, thank you for that flattering introduction. As you said, the whole of humanity due to COVID has taken a pause, and got to sharing knowledge and vision and dreams through a lot of webinars and plethora of online discussions, and at times to our annoyance for people like me. So honestly, I was a bit skeptical when you first told me about this, and when you suggested this. Uh, then learning more about Practical Cities initiative, I'm intrigued to see how you guys take this forward and implement the objectives and vision you have. Um, Many people have knowledge, vision, dreams, an intention to do something for their city. Many people do have, and build spaces. Whereas you are intending to be more about implementation of these dreams and ideas through this initiative of Practical Cities. And that's why I'm fully on board with my whole heart. And best of luck. Best of luck for today as well.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your valuable words. Sir, sir, you have traveled across 100 cities. What is your dream city? With this, let's make it interactive. I would also like the audience to write in the comment below about what is your dream city. Sir, I would like you to share your experience of city of my dreams.
Sure. As you said, Jai, I'm a product not only of my work, and the people I have met, um, education and knowledge, um, but also the 45 countries I have traveled. I'm a product of all of that. Um, if you ask me what is my dream city, uh, I'm constrained through mainly because of my background of built environment. I'm always looking at cities with a critical eye. So if I tell you that London is the best city or New York is my dream city, it's not. And it's these are amazing cities. They are fantastic, no doubt about that. There are a number of things about them which are brilliant. But there is also Ruturaj Ki Kitli near Sept
Yeah.
or Manek Chowk, and at midnight, which is unparalleled. Sajay, let me take you through a journey of all aspects of urban design, urban planning, urban management, and experience as a citizen, occupant of these spaces. So through some of photographs of my travel across the world, um, as Professor Kalam once said, dream dreams, dreams become your thoughts, and thoughts become your actions. So through these dreams and ideas of city of my dreams, let's get on to the journey of devising implementation strategies to demand, design, procure, and enjoy all the best things learned from these various places. Um, we must have green spaces and public spaces like Vienna, the Prater, like Hyde Park, and many parks like London. I'm sure, Jay, we would remember this. This is Primrose Hill in London. You were with me, or probably you clicked this photographs for me. How come these parks have no boundary walls? They are accessible, they have water bodies, they're clean and used all throughout the day, all throughout the year, in any weather conditions. I believe all our excuses of dogs, homeless people, hawkers, or weather conditions are just that, excuses. You see these things in parks, sports facilities, children's play area, and these are from various parts of Europe. Walkable park spaces. We need to have employment and economic opportunities like New York, Singapore, Mumbai, in all our cities. How? Um, I'll leave that to economists. This is a dream. We need to pedestrianize inner lanes and city centers like any European cities for now. Look at Prague, Budapest, Copenhagen, Oxford, Stratford, Cambridge, Marrakesh, anywhere you go, anywhere, they're walkable and pedestrianized. And if you have any retailer telling us that, कार तो आनी चाहिए वहां तक गेट तक, नहीं तो रिटेल में कौन शॉपिंग करेगा? Oh, it's proved wrong all across the world. More pedestrianized, more business. You see this? These are city center places. That was London. This is Vienna. These are the photographs. We need to have citizen participation in how they would like the urban facilities to be. It's not about democracy. It's about cities becoming responsive to its occupants through their participation. So we talk about these smart cities. The smartness of IT, etc., needs to be used for developing better citizen communication and participation tools. And not just CCTV and toll tags. This is happening. I mean, you go to Zurich, Singapore, this is happening. Accessibility. We have more blind people in India than the total population of Japan, maybe. Still, you will see train buttons and lift buttons in Japan in Braille. Things are getting better for us in terms of wheelchair access and all of that in our cities. But I dream of a city which is fully accessible to everyone. There are technologies and best practice examples at every nook and corner of European cities. Public transport. And now, what do I say about that? I mean, we better not follow USA on this, even though as in India, we are obsessed with United States of America in many things. But if I'm rude or blunt, they don't know what public transport is. Of course, London, Hong Kong, Singapore, or Switzerland are really good, but there are some South American countries who are doing well on this. We are also getting better in this, learning from Korea, South Korea, and places like that. I dream of a city with buses and cycles, and we can achieve this. We have the vision, we have the know-how, expertise on this. No, I dream of riverfront development where I can take my kids to swim in the river. You go to Geneva or Zurich, and people are doing that at riverfront. Not a concrete, sterile built structure for walk on kite flying festival days. But you also have riverfronts in the world. This one, for example, is in Prague. And you have sculptures and things like that in Budapest, like this. And you have, you have tree shaded walks like in Paris and the River Seine or next to Thames on South Bank, which is fantastic places. They are just brilliant public spaces. Art in public spaces. I dream of that. I know cities like Zagreb. This is Edinburgh, Scotland. You have Zagreb, Croatia, or London, or Bratislava. You look at this. This is a symbol of Bratislava now. And how did they get it right? These were war-torn countries just 20, 25 years ago. And look at them now. Revival through these public arts and urban rejuvenation. We must aspire more and not just have flamingos and kettle sculpture on non-accessible mid-road roundabouts, which are an eyesore. Look at these spaces. Now we have roundabouts like this these are opportunity spaces in our cities. And we do this, the kind of inaccessible spaces we have and the sculptures we do. And look at this. This is Zagreb. This is exactly a roundabout middle of somewhere. That's accessible for having lunch, going and looking at a sculpture while you are passing by on walking or cycling or in a car. These are my dreams. I dream of a city where there are no excuses for this. And there is civility in usage, of course, and patronage. I mean, it's happening. This is Jaipur. This is Ahmedabad. I can't say that it's not happening. It is happening. This is a port in Ahmedabad. So I'm not saying that artwork and public art is not happening, but we need to aspire lot more than this. This is Bombay. So spaces are getting rejuvenated, but we need to get this art and everything into public domain. And we have cities. Our cities look like this. I wish that we learn technical things to sort out problems like this, and there are simple solutions. There are best practice and simple solutions like this. It's a concrete bin cover, कोई भी weather condition, spillover, या कुछ भी. I mean, this is us. We can easily यहाँ इसके बाजू में 2-3 अच्छे sculpture लगा दो और इसको cover कर दो like this, and it works, and it's not expensive. We can spend money on something like that. We can learn from, I mean, net पे देखते हैं काफी बार. We have things like that, getting rid of plastics from our nalas and implementing our drainage solutions like this. I mean, this is possible. If other parts of the world are doing it, why can't we do it? Let's do these things first and then put robots in there. Jai, I can really go on and on as I have traveled and seen hoarding-free cities and cities who don't build anymore. They don't need to. Cities with LED signages and screens on the road. All of these things are happening in our world. Let us dream of, immediate, urgent, and systematic demand, design, procurement, and execution of all of this. A government which is there for governance and also as a custodian for all the research and development needed for that. And the citizens are equally charged to participate in this and enjoy the benefits of these dreams which I'm talking about. So I thought I'll keep it short. There is a lot we can talk, but these are a summary of variety of things I've traveled.
Thanks a lot, sir. It was a very good presentation to us, and we actually got to know the various aspects of what across the countries, walkable streets, street designing, the roundabout designing, a lot of them. So there are two questions coming up from audience, and I just want to add to that also. Number one is, what do you anticipate in cities development post-COVID era?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm sure it was going to come. We are into the COVID era, and let's look at what is going to happen. I anticipate that we will not travel as much post-COVID. I anticipate that the need for commercial offices is going to get drastically reduced. I anticipate that high street retail will flourish. The malls, cinemas, restaurants will suffer. These are my anticipation. And I anticipate that there will be different kind of public gathering spaces. What, I don't know yet, but there will be. I anticipate that there will be a lot of urban agriculture and horticulture and green spaces. Um, I anticipate that there will be a revolution. There will be evolution and adoption of different public transport and green mobility
Yes.
things. I anticipate that there will be importance of urban managers, and they will need to cater for not only the roti kapda makan thing, but also internet. That becomes everybody will need that. And what I mean to say is that the technology will be a norm, and the managers will have to look into that. And I don't see a future for authoritarian regime. I don't see that. I see a future of stern rules, consistent rules for all citizens, little government, and a lot of governance. And that will be welcomed by everyone. So this is my anticipation for post-COVID. I feel that will this happen in the next year? Maybe not. Maybe this is gradually happening in the next 5 years, but this is my anticipation.
I completely agree with you, sir. You talked about the key urban managers, and with that, the planners also. Urban managers and planners are the key to the future reimagining a city. Sir, I recently got a news. It was on 7th April 2020 in BBC News. It talked about a total of 81% of global workforce of 3.3 billion people have had their work fully or partially closed. So what is your viewpoint on the opportunities that are going to come up in the urban sector currently or in the near future?
Okay, let me answer this not directly. I think it's an interesting statistics. Imagine the cities will change. They're
Yes.
bound to change. Yeah, and why do I need to live in a city center if I'm not going to office and working and I'm working from home? I would rather stay in a peri-urban space and in green space. And so the transportation system, education sector, recreation and hospitality sector, key workers will all get affected. Yeah, and the disruptive technologies will be adapted very fast. So there's a lot of robots coming in, and it will increase. And the whole scenario of the jobs in cities is going to change big time. It has to. It will. Uh, there will be a major need for reskilling. People
Yes.
will have to reskill.
Yes.
If you are a product developer, without giving service, it's not going to work. So, for example, if you are a builder and you say that I'm not going to manage the facility for long term, that's not going to work. You will have to. And if you are a contractor or in a public-private partnership doing something for the city, and you say that I will just build and go away. No, the PPP contracts ask you to manage that facility, that drainage system, and operate that for years to come. And so the whole scenario will change. If you are doing BRTS, you will have to manage and operate the BRTS as well. So basically, the IQ, the intelligent quotient, everybody was talking about IQ for so many years, will change to EQ and SQ, which is emotional quotient and social quotient. And that's what will happen to the workforce. And we have seen with the COVID and many things in terms of climate change and the calamities, which are sometimes man-made calamities like war. What will happen is that we will also need AQ, which is adversity quotient, the grit and resilience. So basically, you will need to become an agriculturist in an urban farm, or you can do infrastructure development in rural area. So the whole game is going to change. You know, there are going to be urban farms, and मुझे खेती करने के लिए कोई चाहिए urban area में, and rural area में infrastructure चाहिए. So that is going to happen. The whole and for a short time, people will lose jobs until they are reskilled uh, at a strategic level. That's bound to happen. That's bound to happen.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Hope I have
So
answered your question. The last one was not direct, but I hope I have answered that.
yes, yes, sir. Overall, it was a very good masterclass. We got to know in very brief, and it was a very outcome based. We got to know how urban managers, practitioners, and what are the opportunities. How we will be reimagining spaces and cities in the near future, and what actually, according to you, is your city of the dream. From this, I would also like the audience to tell us your viewpoint in the comment section in the live below. You can write it in the comment section about what your dream city is and why.
Thank you, Jay, and
Thank
it's
you.
brilliant. All the best.
Thank you, sir.